Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to if you are brand new. I am so excited that you are here. So yeah, let's get into the point of today's video. Today I'm going to be pruning tomatoes the way that I like to prune them. There are plenty of different ways to prune your tomatoes. You can cut off just the leaves, you can cut off suckers for bigger fruit. Cutting off the suckers gives you bigger fruits because it's not going to send their energy into as many. Leaving suckers will give you more fruit. They just won't be as big. So that's what I do. I cut off the leaves and I will leave probably 4 or 5 suckers, let them go up my trellis to the very top, which that's probably about 6 foot. I'm 6'2", so maybe a little bit taller, 6.5 feet tall. And after that point, I will just let them go, because by that time it's the end of the season. Whatever's going, I'm just gonna let it go and do its own thing. So at that point it's okay. But I figured I would show you guys how I prune, where I start to leave suckers. My fencing starts, I do the wall trellising. My trellis begins probably about 1 foot off the ground. I do not leave anything once it gets to that point. I don't leave anything below that. I like good airflow at the bottom, and if I can water the bottoms and not have to get the leaves wet, because that can harbor many diseases. So you want good airflow. You want to be pruning frequently, and because I'm pruning off leaves, I do leave the top. You can't see how much that is, but it's probably about 4 or 5 inches of leaves at the top of at least one of the stems, usually the main stem, and it will go to suckers, and I will leave that for suckers at a point as well. Sorry, I thought someone was walking over there. So the way that I prune with just pruning off the leaves, you really want to make sure that this is, you really only want to prune your indeterminate varieties. Your determinate tomatoes, you could cut off something that could produce fruit, and in that case you can cut off some leaves, but don't go as hard because it's only going to get to a certain size. But make sure that anything that's dead or dying or diseased goes. And just prune off some things. I've really been thinking this morning about my tomato stuff, and I will get into that in a different video. But yeah, I just prune my indeterminate varieties, which are mainly your cherries, and things like that. Your bigger varieties, a lot of those tend to be determinate. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Enough rambling. I just want to show you guys how I prune and where I'll prune and when I decide to cut off some things. So let's get into it. Okay, so I have my trusty pruners. I actually really like these. So as you can see, my fencing begins here. They're not that tall, but what I'm going to do is just start lower, prune off anything that's lower, and then just let it really put energy into its main stalk until it gets to about here. And this sucker, as you can see, and going over tomato anatomy, this is your main stem, this one right here. All those hairs on the plant have the ability to become roots as well. So this is your main stem. Moving over to this is your leaf. Your leaf will not give you any fruit. It'll just go out like this and grow. Sorry, that's a different one off to the side. But as you can see right here, that is a tomato sucker. Now, I could take these off and I could root them and I could get a head start on plants. That's totally fine to do. Sorry, my thing is being crazy. Now that is totally fine to do. I could take them and do that, and I may. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. And this sucker is a good size. This would actually be a really good one to take inside and try to root. It is too hot out here to try to root it elsewhere. So we might end up taking some suckers, but we will see. what is going on once I do this. So what I will do is I will go ahead and just take this leaf, cut the leaf off. Same thing with this one. That was probably a better example of the suckers. But yeah, so you just go through and cut off things like that. I will go ahead and just cut. Sorry, it is hard to do this while filming. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut off a bunch of the stuff at the bottom because I don't want it growing. This is a this is a tomato sucker, sorry. This is the sucker, so I'll take this in. And I know what variety this is. This is my black crim, so I really like that because I think I have some more coming up, but I'm not entirely sure. And this, I'll have a whole video on the sucker part of that. But yeah, today is just pruning. So I go through like that on all of my plants. I will take any leaves, mainly leaves. I don't take a lot of the suckers, as I said. You can go, I like to cut off everything that's at the bottom unless it's a really healthy one, just because I don't like those. The reason I prune like this is because leaves will never give you tomatoes. Never. Suckers will though, because they will produce the leaves and the tomato flowers themselves, which turn into the tomatoes. And yeah, so that's why I prune like this. I saw someone doing it, and it really does. If you're wanting to just maximize harvest and you're not like putting up a bunch of things, or you're not worried about growing the biggest tomato or the things like that, yeah, you can totally get away with doing something like this. And it works incredibly well. So let me continue going about this and just pruning off some leaves. I'll show you guys. Again, I don't want it to be a long video, but usually if you are wanting to take off your suckers, and I'll do that on these, your main stem is here. This is your leaf, this long part, and that is your sucker. Now when they're this little, you can just take your hand and you can just take it. Now I'm going to prune off the leaf because that is how I prune, but you could do that if you were just wanting to leave the leaves on your determinate, well, not on your determinate varieties. You don't want to do that on your determinate varieties because you would risk losing a lot more than just that. You are risking harvest as well. So I'm going to go actually inside. I'm going to go inside and get a jar to put some of these cuttings in, because I would like to root them. I have enough time here, and I will have a video on that as well. But thank you guys for watching today's crazy episode of what is this garden guy doing in his garden. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to see more content, or you want to know how to root your suckers, or you want to know anything else about tomato maintenance, or chickens, or ducks, or garden maintenance, anything like that, please subscribe. I will be doing all of this for a very long time through the summer and even throughout. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in another one. Stay good.